Silver.
All right.
Every angler has a favorite time of the year to chase fish with a fly. Whether it be during the blossoming spring, during the green of summer, the colors of autumn, or during the cleansing white of winter. It merely offers a backdrop to a pursuit that has attached itself to the soul of a fly fisherman. Rod, reel, fly, and fish.
Oh, there's a big fish.
Oh, big fish.
Here we go.
Big fish.
Under that log, behind that rock, or deep in the dark blue could lie the fish of a lifetime. It's in that helpless hope that the angler will march from year to year through a lifetime, hoping the next cast connects dreams and a fish of legend. Welcome to Seasons on the Fly. Welcome to Seasons on the Fly. I'm Greg Heister. John Muir called this area a Yosemite Valley 100 miles long. It's spectacular, throwing a few fish in the fall colors, and it's a fly fisherman's dream. Pinks and chums in the summertime, we have silvers in the fall, and trout and dollies throughout. This is Seasons on the Fly, and welcome to Alaska's Stikine River.
Way to go, Drew!
It is amazing. We have not seen another fisherman the whole time we've been here. A couple boats, one seaplane. Boy, you just get it in front of their mouth and they'll take it. But it's just amazing that you can have this whole river to yourself and not see a soul. You don't get that in Western Washington, Eastern Washington, any of the places that I've fished to date. No, it's big dog salmon. Doesn't like you, doesn't like you.
DREWNEINSTEDT from Seattle, Washington, picked the Stikine River and its tributaries for his first adventure to Alaska. ALPINE Creek grants an angler solitude and a river full of fish.
All right, there you go, honey. Boom.
The Stikine River finds salt water just a few miles from Wrangell, Alaska. In all, it is 335 miles long. It rises from the Spatsizi Plateau in northern British Columbia. Flowing north, it finds the town of Telegraph Creek, cutting a fast-flowing course through a glacial gorge along the U.S.-Canada border. The final 50 miles are in the U.S. before it reaches the Alexander Archipelago.
There's a real nice one right out there. See him? And then there's one behind him.
DREWNEINSTEDT is accompanied by his father Mike, and friends Dwayne, Jacqueline,
Got him! Woohoo!
and his son Tag.
Good job.
I have fished all over the world, yes.
I think it's a pink.
If I was 40 years younger, this is where I'd be. I'd live here, I'd move here, and I'd be here. So I love the Stikine. It's absolutely gorgeous, still relatively untouched, full of fish, and beautiful.
Good job. You got it. This is gorgeous fish. Okay, you ready to catch this?
Can you do it?
Yeah. Look at all these fish laying in here.
Oh.
But who wants to come to Alaska? Mosquitoes, bears. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to do this knot.
Oh no!
You get him?
No, I had the bush.
How about right here, Dwayne? Right there.
That's the sockeye.
That is not a sockeye.
The
Right
king
here.
I want's over under the bush.
No, that's right. How about the one that's 2 feet in front
That
of
guy
you?
right there. Whoop.
Oh, is that the one you want? The bush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are sockeye.
That is not a sockeye.
Dwayne and Mike, to use a cliche, the odd couple. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau have nothing on these two.
Okay, that's the one I'm going to get. Excuse me.
I knew I could get him out of here if he just...
Good job, Mikey.
Huh? It's a comedy. It's a comedy. That's all I can tell you. He's a good fisherman, but I've never met anybody who laughs so hard when he falls in a river. I know.
Here you go.
Oh, I got one too.
Mikey,
What?
would you get my fish off?
Do I get your fish off?
Yeah,
I
here.
gotta get mine off first.
Hey, it's okay.
All right, here you go.
There you go.
Oh, that's a big fish, Dwayne.
That's a big dolly.
That's a big, I'm not sure it's a dolly.
What is it?
I think it's a rainbow.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Mike just started fishing, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, but he already looks like a veteran and casts like a veteran and catches fish and enjoys every moment of it.
When you say looks, he dresses like a veteran, or?
Well, yeah. He looks really good, you know. You getting this part, Greg?
Yeah, how are we looking so far, Heist?
There's a dolly. God, that was a hell of a take. Looks like it might be a cut. Boy, that dolly hit that thing so hard, it almost jerked the rod out of my hand. Well, the dollies really hit hard. I mean, I think, you know, pound for pound, they're probably one of the more fun fish for me because they hit the bug so hard. But there's so many different varieties that you could fish all day, catching all different types of species.
Oh, excuse me, moving through. Mr. Bean here is moving through. Excuse me a minute while I take care of this fish for my friend. Doggy. Huh? Pretty doggy. I do almost everything for Mike. You know, he's not really capable of taking care of himself. I had to introduce him to his wife. I had to teach him how to fish. What do you got, Tag?
You got him? Hey,
Playing through.
All
right.
Get your
Par
fish
3.
out of our
You're out.
hole.
Get off the green. Let the man through. All right. There we go.
Okay, moving out.
Run for your life, Mikey.
What are you playing through or what?
There's a fish. Oh, well, don't touch the line. He's playing through.
Bye, Tag.
Bye, Tag. See you in a half hour or so.
Hey, boy. Hey, Tag, you need a bigger reel.
Alpine Creek may never be the same again. When Seasons on the Fly continues, the bearers of the Stikine, Shake's Glacier, and John Muir's personal discovery. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Loop. Join the Loop Army and help take North America by storm. And by Next IT, intelligently guiding people to answers. The Stikine River, rugged and pristine. Its name comes from its Tlingit Indian title that means cloudy river. They assumed its color was from the milt of spawning salmon. But this river drains nearly 20,000 square miles. Much of it is glaciated, giving the river its gray hue. The first Europeans explored this river in 1824. In 1879, John Muir explored the lower third of the river and recorded over 300 glaciers in those miles. He called this area a Yosemite that was 100 miles long.
There's a bunch of rocks through here and it's running real hard. I can't tell for sure.
Dan Roop discovered Andrews Creek for himself shortly after his migration to the town of Wrangell nearly 30 years ago. These small Clear Creek tributaries remind him of the streams that he grew up on in North Idaho, like the Coeur d'Alene River and the St. Joe. Instead of throwing dry flies to charging cutthroats, he dredges the river bottoms, and as you can see, there is no shortage of pink salmon here.
What is he?
I think it's a pink. I'm in pink heaven right down here. Southeast Alaska is pink salmon country, where you see in western Alaska, you end up seeing sockeye. Pinks are here by the millions. They're, to my mind, an underrated fish. They're 3 to 7 pounds. Nickel bright coming into the streams from spending a year and a half out in the North Pacific, and as long as you don't horse them, as long as you use the proper weight rod, they are a lot of fun to catch.
Something has to keep these rivers full. The town of Wrangell is besieged each year with 65 to 80 inches of rain. It's the norm. They dance in the streets when the sun peeks through on back-to-back days. Nature has designed this terrain to handle the moisture and wick it away.
The stream is used to coming up in fluctuations. I've seen the stream drop 2 to 3 feet in just a couple of hours.
The salmon need this fresh water to enter the river and to carry on with their primal mission. The Stikine awaits their arrival and offers a vehicle to the very spot in which they were born.
You got Dan?
I'm not sure. Just the light conditions and everything, it's hard to see. I'm going to work him down here into a little shallower water here, a little calmer stuff. Dog salmon. Guess my estimate on size was about right. There he is. It's a dog salmon. It's probably about 12 pounds, 13 pounds. Looks like it's a hen by the shape of the nose. And they're really, in terms of salmon, underrated. They're very powerful fish.
If we go back underwater, you can see how difficult it can be for a fly angler to target a certain species. There are kings that cannot be targeted. Plenty of pinks, and you can see a dolly swim through the frame as well. Easy to catch a fish, just not a certain fish.
Oh, something's got you. Dolly. It's a nice dolly.
It's not what we were fishing for.
No, but that's a beautiful fish.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in great shape.
Look at the blue sheen in his side. That's awesome. Look at the colors in that guy.
Gorgeous.
Colors of dolly.
He's a hefty fish, isn't he?
Dan, what do you think? Is this a sea run or is this a resident
No,
guy?
that's a sea run fish.
Let him go. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Okay.
There he goes.
When we return, the Annan Wildlife Observatory, Shakes Glacier, and the Stikine is about to be ravaged by winter when Seasons on the Fly continues.
All right. There's a bear.
Both brown and black bears are very common on the Stikine. But at Annan Wildlife Observatory, on the other side of Wrangell, it's a slam dunk to see them.
It is very unique. It's called a Wildlife Observatory because besides the bears, you're looking on any day, maybe 100 to 150 bald eagles. You're looking at seals in the lagoon. The lagoon is tidal, and so you end up with a lot of saltwater species that come into the area, fish as well as the marine mammals. There are wolves in the area. Ultimately, it is, it's just a great place to come experience Southeast Alaska.
Nearly 500,000 pink salmon stack up in this river, and because of those barrier falls, it becomes the favorite hunting grounds for both species of bears. In fact, it may be the only place in the world where you'll see them fishing together. Annan is a Tlingit word meaning a place to gather. Along with the bears, tourists gather hoping to get a peek. Back at Andrews, evidence of both bears and wolves here.
Yeah, when we've got the abundance of the North Pacific coming into all these streams, all the predators are going to be able to basically get their entire food supply. The wolves, the bears, the eagles. If you look here, we have evidence of a brown bear actually eating both pink and dog salmon. If you notice, the heads have actually been chewed off. Oftentimes a bear, after they've gotten enough protein from the salmon, they will go for the fatty portions of the fish. In this case, they went strictly for the brain, which has a lot of fatty acids in it.
There's a fish. Dolly. Nice dolly.
I got something there. Not sure, but he's shaking his head pretty good.
Beautiful fish. Those. All right, look at him. Oh boy.
That's a nice dolly. And in fact, see these right here? Those are sea lice. Those are a parasite that live on the fish out in the saltwater. And he still is so fresh, he has sea lice still on him.
The outflow of Shakes Lake, another tributary to the Stikine. But at the head of this lake, a glacier that scraped it 900 feet deep in places.
We're looking out at icebergs that have calved off from the ice fields that are up about 5 miles up the lake. It's cold. The water's 35 degrees right now. It's a nice warm rain that's being cooled quite a bit by this huge amount of cold water. Shakes Glacier. It is gorgeous. Check out the blues.
Okay, so what do you think went through Muir's mind when he first saw this?
Well, he was really very familiar with glaciers already with his explorations in Yosemite and Northern California. So he was just overjoyed to, instead of a few remnants of glaciers, to have a whole bunch of glaciers to go ahead and check out. I'm sure he was just really impressed. You know, where we're floating right now actually would have been well back in the glacier. Off to our left here, about 3/4 of a mile would have been the actual face of the glacier instead of what we see behind us now. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous on a a little wetter day like today, and you have bluebird sunshine. It looks completely different. Not as much mystery.
This glacier in Lake Valley is a microcosm of the Stikine River experience. Flowers, the blue hue of the ice, and water cascading seemingly from the heavens to the valley floors. To call it gorgeous or beautiful is to cheat this country. The fall, it brings colors, snow, and this river's fifth and final Pacific salmon home, when Seasons on the Fly continues. Seasons on the Fly is brought to you by Loop. Join the Loop Army and help take North America by storm. And by Next IT, intelligently guiding people to answers. When winter creeps up this river valley, it's a feeling that bites more than just the tips of your fingers. A transition to a time of the year that smells of death, and the change in color represents harsh months ahead.
You can tell it's starting to be winter up here. Yeah. Definitely fall.
This looks like silver water.
It is.
Now, is this the name of a creek that we're in?
No
name to it.
It's just a side slough off of Shakes. We got a little current up here that looks like we're getting close to the beaver dams here. It's just a great place to come fish, come boat, come experience the wilderness, much like John Muir saw 100 years ago. It takes you about 5 minutes off from the brush, and all you'll have is a great big brown bear and solitude. Yeah, you're right. It kind of is like a spring creek.
It is. There we go.
There you go, Greg.
Nice fish too.
By the end of October, the bears of the Stikine will climb 1,000 feet or higher from the river to den and winter. The salmon will all die, and ice will cover much of this terrain, slamming closed opportunities to get a fly to a fish. But before that happens, one final chance at a Stikine River silver salmon.
Oh, silver!
All right. It is a playground for Wrangell and for John Muir and the rest of the world too. It's just huge and glorious. All right, Greg. Up into the fall, you end up with silvers up into the beaver dams, and both rainbow cutthroat and dollies are going to be still hanging around to a certain extent. So things are starting to change, and it'll be winter in just a couple of weeks. But right now, Mother Nature is putting it on a show in its glory.
Mr. Rainforest Coho.
It can be an extremely tough environment. This time of year, you end up seeing anything from snow starting to fall to afternoons that might be 60 degrees and sunshine. So it is extreme, fast flowing water, cold glacial water. It's nothing to mess around with.
This is the Stikine River. It's been described as the Serengeti of Canada. The Tlingit Indians simply call it the Great River. It's hard to get more descriptive than that. It's simply awesome. And oh yeah, the fishing's pretty good as well. I'm Greg Heister. I'll see you next time on Seasons on the Fly.